नमो विश्वपात्रणं परिवारकार्य भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती महाराज की जय। Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. We're going to start it off with Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksuram Militam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruvai Namah. Om Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Swapadantikam Shri Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Krupa Sindhu Devata Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Well, this is the first time I am speaking at congregation, and I wish you bear with me, because the subject is even so deeper that the significance of Diwali is what I'm going to cover. I'm looking for the blessings from all the senior Vaishnavas, Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj, and all the senior Vaishnavas. So please bear with me. I'm going to my subject today is the significance of Diwali or Kartik Mass per se. So as you know, the Diwali the celebrations are in remembrance of Lord Krishna and Lord Rama. The pastimes are celebrated at least for 5 days as Diwali. And these events have been celebrated for thousands of years. Lord Rama and his whole entourage had appeared on the earth in Treta Yuga, while Krishna appeared in a Dwapara Yuga. In essence, the true meaning of this Diwali and Dasara is the victory of good over evil, or victory of light over darkness. But it is worth to note that in Satyuga, in the golden age, the Devatas lived on one planet, whereas the demons were living on the other planet. So the good was on one planet in Satyuga, and the bad was on another planet. It existed on separate planets. In Treta Yuga, which we call Silver Age, they existed on the same planet but in different regions. Like Rama was in Ayodhya, whereas Ravana was in Lanka. And in Dwapara Yuga, they existed in the same family, part of the same family. Like Pandava and Duryodhana, they existed in the same family. The good and bad were together in one family. But in Kali Yuga, both good and bad, they exist within our own body. As an individual, this good and bad exist within us. And this is what we're trying to do by the past times. We are trying to learn how to get rid of those bad demoniac thoughts and try to conquer the good. So over and above religion and cultural traditions that we have in Diwali, His Holiness Srila Prabhupada made this celebration in ISKCON very special. It's religious, it's spiritual, and it's devotional. So rather than having normal cultural activities or cultural religious traditions, ISKCON celebrates it more in a devotional way also. He has taught how to use negativity in life and light up the clarity or the positiveness within us by Krishna consciousness. The stories of Ramayana and Srimad Bhagavatam Gita are still alive because the devoted people have been singing and worshipping them since the time immemorial. Reciting these pastimes of Supreme Lord Ram and his incarnation, along with chanting the Mahamantra, purifies the mankind to sail through the ocean of Maya, the material world. And by conquering the good over evil in our body, mind, and intellect that exist in Kali Yuga. And this is what Prabhu has directed us, the chant and be happy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Even as per Chaitanya Charitamrita in Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees also celebrated Ras Lila and Deepavali and all these events also. So Deepavali, as I said, is the largest 5-day Hindu festival per se. Diwali comes from the word Deepavali, which has two meanings. Deepa means light, and Avali in Sanskrit it means rose or the career. So therefore the Deepavadiya signifies coming to the light, the festival of lights. In Vedic literature, it says Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya. That means do not remain in darkness, come to light. That's the message of Diwali. Come to the light. And come to the spiritual awareness or awakening. Coming to the light means we are coming to the spiritual awareness. Diwali is the largest Hindu festival of lights and is celebrated, like I said, is for 5 days. Why? There are many reasons for that. So we're going to look some major reasons why we celebrate Diwali in such a way. One, of course, all of you know Lord Rama, the incarnation of Krishna, the return of Lord Ramchandra to Ayodhya after 14 years of exile. That was one reason. The other is during churning of the ocean of milk, Lord Vishnu, Krishna took the form of Kurma, tortoise, and Mohini, Murti, Krishna's incarnation. So the appearance of Lakshmi Devi from the ocean of milk, that's what occurred during the Diwali. Appearance of Lord Dhanavantari, I don't know, some of you may not even know. He's the incarnation of Krishna, who gave us the Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a health science. Many of us now in the US know what Ayurveda is. These are the herbal medicines and a lot of naturopathies and all these. That all came from Dhanavantari. Lord Krishna's release of 16,100 princesses from the clutches of demon Narakasura. So Narakasura, that's a big event where Krishna married to the 16,100 princesses. So that's another event we're going to look at. Return of Bali Maharaj to his kingdom for 1 day from Patal, old planetary system, where he was sent by Krishna's incarnation of Vaman Deva. Observance of Kartika in Vrindavan for whole month for Lord Krishna's pastime, which we all know, Damodar Lila. We always have a Damodar Ashtakam every day in the temple for the whole month of Kartika. Brijvasis had also celebrated Diwali, and also in the return of Pandavas after their exile for 1 year during Lord Krishna's pastimes on this earth 5,000 years ago. There's one more, Yamaraj. Yamaraj was also appointed managerial post of the Lord of Death for judgments of all actions on all living entities in the universe, and he was appointed by Lord Krishna. Then some of you may have heard, now we have a Hindu calendar that starts from the next day after Diwali, that's what we call New Year. So King Vikramaditya was ordained on this day, and therefore the Vedic calendar starts from then. And the Surbi cow, you must have heard Surbi cow in churning of milk. In the Kshirasagar, the cows are worshipped and honored. So that's another reason why we celebrate Diwali. Lord Krishna lifting the Golden Hill for 7 days to protect the residents from Indra's devastating raids. So, remembering and glorifying all this past time of Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, we can attain the eternal abode. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4:9, Janma karma cha me divyam yovedi tatvatah. Takta deham punarjanma Naiti mameti so Arjuna. One who knows this transcendental nature of my appearances and activities does not, upon leaving this body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So what it says is, during these past times, we are trying to remember God, remember His divine activities, His divine leelas, and this is how we constantly, it reminds us of Lord Rama, Lord Krishna. I mean, the Lord Rama is of course Krishna's incarnation. So during Diwali, everything in India even, it comes to stand still, except the family life, feasting, gifting and greeting that goes on. It is the last day of Vedic calendar. The Diwali is the last day of the Vedic calendar. And therefore there is a significance of this ending year with the festivities and preparing to welcome the new year with the auspicious beginning. The present Vedic calendar started from the root of the dynasty of the great king. His name was Vikramaditya. It's 102 BC before Christ, or 15 AD. And that is why it is called Vikram Samvat, which this year will be 2075. The Hindu Vikram Samvat, 2075. So Vaishnavas worship Lord Krishna and perform the spiritual austerities like doing extra parikramas, go around the temple, increasing the number of japmalas done for the Lord's holy names, visit special places of pilgrimages, temples, worship the deities, and tulsi plant with the more opulence. Give charity to brahmanas and feed the cows. Any austerities or charity, any sacrifices done on these days in the holiest month of Kartik multiplies the beneficial results, some say 100 or 1,000 times. In ISKCON, we celebrate the whole auspicious month of Kartik as Damodar month, New Year as a Govardhan Puja, and glorify other pastimes. I will highlight some of the important events of this festival called Diwali. Like tomorrow will be a Dhanteras. Dhanteras is the 13th day after full moon, and that is the worship of goddess of wealth, Lakshmi. I mean, Krishna has given all important department to goddesses. The Lakshmi is, Krishna has handed over the goddess Lakshmi. She is in charge of the wealth. We have a goddess Saraswati, she is in charge of education. We have a defense minister, goddess Durga. So as you can see, all this important department Krishna has given to the goddesses. Once Lord Indra was cursed by his guru Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni is considered to be very anger-oriented Muni. Once Lord Indra was cursed by his guru and to lose all his opulence because he had disrespected him. How? Durvasa Muni was visiting Brahmaji, the creator of universe, and had received a garland from him, which he gave to Indra, who was riding on his elephant called Airavat. Airavat has many trunks. And so Indra was feeling very proud at that time and put the garland on the elephant's head and who dropped it on the floor and trampled it. Durvasa Muni saw all this and he became angry and cursed him to bereft all his opulence. Thus the Lakshmi Devi from his kingdom came into the ocean. Like we say, Samudravasane Devi Parvatastanamale Vishnu Patni Namastumyum Pada Sparsha Samaswame. Lakshmi Devi, she came into the ocean. Without Lakshmi there cannot be happiness or joy. We all know. I mean, we are all in a Kali Yuga. Lakshmi is the main way of instrumental for everything. So the Lakshmi Devi for his kingdom came into the ocean. Without Lakshmi there cannot be happiness. And the material was sunk into the gloom of darkness. And Manavas, the demons, knew now that Lakshmi Devi is gone. So demons were taking over the post of Devas. And this is when Lord Vishnu devised the plan to churn the ocean of milk to get the various jewels from the ocean, including the divine goddess Lakshmi. It means that so all the sources of income and honored and worshipped. Goddess Lakshmi, Lord Dhanvantari, Kuber, the treasurer of universe, Yamraj, the lord of death, are all worshipped for various reasons according to the historic event that happened many yugas ago. Goddess Lakshmi is bathed and worshipped on this day because she is the personification of wealth. and she had appeared on this day from the churning of the ocean. Kubera was ordained on this post on this day. Kubera is the treasurer. And since he is the treasurer of the universe, he is honored to get his grace to increase the wealth, prosperity for the coming year. So this says, this Lord Dhanvantri, we say the Lord Dhanvantri, health and longevity, because he had appeared on this day also by ocean of milk. And he had got the knowledge of Ayurveda, the science of longevity, or science of life. And in the villages, the cattle are decorated because they represent Survi cow. The cow which had also appeared from churning of the ocean of milk, and she is also a personification of the wealth for the farmers. She gives the nectar of life, milk. In fact, Gaumata, so we call holy cow, is honored by devout Vaishnavas every day to get spiritual blessings. This is in India, because here we can't find cow every day. Vaishnavas every day to get spiritual blessing because Lord Krishna protected the cow and gave them in charity to Brahmanas daily while he was performing his pastime on the earth 5,000 years ago. That's why the sacred cow, we are all praying for it. Sweets are offered to the deities, the prayers, the diyas, rangoli means the sacred designs that we make. We make sacred designs also in our temple during the Diwali. So all these firecrackers, all are part of house marking arrival of Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of love. So Lord Yamaraj is given respect on this day, so there will not be an ultimate death in the family. Strings of diyas are kept. Diya means the ghee lamps are kept all night in the remembrance of Yamaraj story. Now we don't want to go in all the story because there's so many personification. In Bhagavad, we can go on and on. But the significance is the Dhanateras, the day for the goddess of wealth. Why do we celebrate? There are going to do pujas. Because like Yamaraj, the goddess for the death, god for the death, the young wife, saved her husband's life from the clutches of death by doing some vratas on Dhanteras day. So since then, Dhanteras is also known as Yamadipan, lights that are kept for Yamaraj. The death personified is called Yamaraj. To keep him away. This is also start of Rangoli season, like I say, the sacred colorful designs. So this is the significance of the very first day which starts tomorrow, which we call Dhanateras, that where we praise this goddess of love. The next day is called Narakasura Chaudas or Kali Chaudas, a very important day. Celebrate on 14th day after the full moon. In the old age, Lord Vishnu assumed the Varaha avatar and rescued the earth from the ocean that was dived by the powerful Asura, Hiranyaksha. Hiranyaksha was brother of Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyaksha, once the earth was restored in universe in Varaha avatar, a fully grown warrior was born and his name was Naraka. His mother Earth, or we call Bhudevi, then asked the Lord to make him invincible. Varaha gave him one tusk as a weapon and in return told him only to use this great power to do only good and uphold dharma. He had gone to even Brahmaji, who had given him boon that he can only die in the lap of his mother. He wanted to be immortal, but Brahmaji said nobody is immortal. So the best wise thing he did as being a Asura, he said, the only way I can die in the lap of my mother, and nobody takes mothers in the war, so he knew that nobody can kill him that easily. Anyway, so centuries rolled by, and in Dwapar Yuga, these Asuras were practicing adharma. It had grown being liars, arrogant, violent, and destructive. Lord Vishnu, the Krishna, had descended to root this adharma. Adharma means it. Even Narad had grown very powerful, conquering earth and heaven. Naraka, sorry. So the story goes that the Narakasura had stolen Queen Aditi, her mother, the mother of Devas, Queen Aditi, her celestial earrings. And Satyabhama, one of the Lord Krishna's 8 special queens, was related to Aditi. So she wanted to avenge the demon. So she went to Lord Krishna. I'm trying to sort out the stories because otherwise it's a long personifications. But what in the story says that she wanted to avenge the demon, so she went with Lord Krishna on the chariot to defeat him. Now this, by providing Sri Krishna, Aditi and wanted to avenge the demon, so she went with Lord Krishna on the chariot to defeat him. But Providence Sri Krishna became unconscious and gave her the special strength to slay the demon. He was slain. The Lord Krishna released 16,100 princesses from Narakasur's jail, who were kidnapped from the heaven as his slaves. And this was celebrated as a victory of light over darkness, as a part of the festival of lights in Deepavali. So due to Krishna's mercy for distressed and earnest desires of the princes, Lord Krishna married them all and built the beautiful palaces in Dwarka for each princess, and they all had 10 boys each. Lord Krishna was present with it and every one at the same time. And that shows he is the Supreme Lord who is omnipresent and omniscient. Thus the Krishna ended up with 16,108 wives. He already had 8 wives and 16,100 princesses he released from the sea. So what happened? All these 16,108 wives, Mayavadis generally say, oh, how can God have a 16,000, one is enough, but 16,108 wives. How can he have that many wives? So if you remember, one of this Mayavadi thing happened in, I think, Warsaw, Poland. They made a stupid remarks that how can Lord have 16,100 wives called gopis, and yet he is the god of all these ISKCON people, because ISKCON was becoming very popular in Poland at the time. And Poland, the nun made a court case. She went to court, this is in July 2011, where they claimed that ISKCON is gaining followers and activities of Krishna, who is having a loose morale with 16,108 wives. So this man has a loose morale. Krishna has a loose morale, and they are all praying him, and they are trying to attract our people to it. The ISKCON counter-attacked that day, and they asked the nun. They told the judge that ask nun, when they take the oath of marriage, and when they are ordained as a nun, do they marry Lord Christ? And when she was ordained as a nun, she did marry Lord Christ. So how can Lord marry about millions of them? Because there are more than 1 million nuns around the world. So how can Lord Christ have 1 million nuns, whereas Krishna can have 16,100 wives? So I hope it was a joke, I understand, but I don't know whether it was a joke. But what has happened is, this case was cancelled by the judge. Anyway, so this is the whole Narakasura thing, that Narakasura has really created a havoc on the earth, and that's why Krishna had to marry all this. So if the court hears this Narakasura's Akhyan or probably Narakasura Katha, then they know exactly why Krishna has so many visits, because he's a merciful. And he's like, even Narad had to go in every door, and he was trying to see whether he is in every home. And he found that Krishna was literally in every gopi's home. Wherever he looked, the Krishna was there. That's why he's omnipresent, omniscient. So now comes the Deepavali day, the dark moon night. It's called Amavasya. Since the Diwali falls during the dark moon fortnight, the whole city of Ayodhya was lit up with diyas. And to guide the Pushpak airplane, the Pushpak Viman as we call it, for 14 years since the Lord Rama left, there was a darkness in Ayodhya. Today, thousands of lamps were lit to celebrate Festival of Lights for welcoming the beloved Lord Rama. Again, Lord Rama is an incarnation of Krishna. Lord Rama to remove the negativity and arise the clarity and positivity in life. And this was to bring the peace, joy and bliss in the life of Ayodhya residents and mankind. As we know, Lord Rama was ordered by his stepmother Kaikeyi to go to the forest for 14 years so her own son Bharat can be the king. But Bharat did not want to be the king. So the kingdom waited for 14 years for Lord Rama's return. These plans were devised by the Supreme Lord himself so that he could go to the forest and visit the sages who were very eager to associate with the Lord directly. And while in the forest, Lord Rama and his brother Lakshman killed many demons, including Ravana, the 10-headed demon. Lord Rama returns on Diwali day to Ayodhya, his kingdom. It was too dark moonlight. Therefore, the citizens of Ayodhya had lighted the whole kingdom with diyas, the ghee lamps, to bring the light and also guide the Pushpak Viman, which was a flowered aeroplane that was stolen by King Ravana from Kuber, the treasurer, and welcome Lord Rama at the home. Diya was also the sign of joy and celebration, signifying that the light of their life has returned in their lives. In fact, there was a good incident where, the Hanuman takes all monkey Sena to build the Setu bridge. Recently, when NASA found the traces of that bridge and said, yeah, this was true, it was not just any mystery. So, the Hanuman told his monkey that every stone or the rocks, they will be marked with Sri Ram, and then you float it in the ocean and they will float. All stone and rock normally will not float because of gravity, but then when you have Ram's name, it will float. So one night Lord Rama thought, oh my, I'm really surprised that these things are floating. So when everybody was, the monkey Sena was sleeping during the hard day's work, what Lord Rama did is he went around the mountain, he took a stone and he tried to throw it. And the stone went right under the water. It sank. Krishna said, everybody else is throwing stones and they are floating on the water. And when I throw it, it sinks. So he tried again and he took another stone and he tried. That time Hanuman said, let me see, where is Lord Ram? I don't see him here. And that's why he went to look for him. And when he see the Ram throwing a couple stones there, he got embarrassed. And Ram says, Hanuman, what I'm trying to do is you people, your monkeys, you give them the stones written with Sri Ram, they float on the water. And when I put the stone in the water, they sing. Well, how do you explain this? I'm so embarrassed. So Hanuman said, God, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Whoever you keep, whoever has your name, they float. Whoever you reject and throw away, they always sing. So whenever you throw the stone without even your name on it, they will sing. So this is why, even in ISKCON, we always say Harinam, Harinam, Harinam Kevalam. So this is another reason that this flower aeroplane of Lord Rama, it came where his brother Bharat was eagerly waiting for Lord Ram to return. He was going to give up his life. They celebrated in the mood of receiving and welcoming Lord Ramchandra, the divine consort Mother Sita Devi, brother Lakshman, and accompanied by Sri Hanumanji on their return to Ayodhya after 14 years of exile in forest. And therefore, the tradition is still carried out on decorating the cities, shops, streets, homes with beautiful lights, flowers, rangolis, scented water parks, so on and so forth, the fireworks, music, again the pastimes of Lord Rama, Lord Krishna. Lord Rama, after return from exile, he first went to Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi, as you know, is the character. She is the one who sent him for 14 years of exile in jungle. Very interesting to note. The Rishi says that when he came back, very first thing, rather than taking blessing from his mother or anybody, Kausalya and so on, he right away went to see Kaikeyi and thanking and praising her for sending him to Vanavas, the exile. He said, I met many, many great sages along the way and killed many demons, torturing innocent saints and people, including the powerful demon Ravana. The lessons we learn from this, from Rama's story, is no one is perfect. We all have good and bad within us, as we saw earlier. In Kali Yuga, good and bad lies within us. So what it's trying to say, we have all good and bad within us at every varying degrees. So give up the fault finding, give up criticizing others, praise their goodness. Never blaspheme others, even the saintly persons or otherwise will be offenders. Look for the good quality in others, and this will eventually lead us to become a good devotee and have a victory of good over evil eventually. So I think this is what we learn from Rama's story. Now we have Damodar Lila, one of the best Lila performed by Lord Krishna. Due to numerous reasons, which is a katha in itself, it's well described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 9. And I'm going to cover some very important part of it. The Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he's quoting from Vaishnava Tosani of Srila Sanatan Goswami that the incident of Krishna breaking the pot of yogurt and being bound by Mother Yasoda took place on the Deepavali day, or Deepamalika. Even today in India, this festival is generally celebrated very virtuously in the month of Kartik, with the fireworks, the lights, and every day, of course, we have Damodar Ashtakam. Vrajavasis and devotees celebrate throughout the month of Kartik. Damodar Leela is known also as the Damodar month. Now Kartik Mass, as you know, it begins after Chaturmas in October, and is also known as the Damodar month. Traditionally, Gaudiya Vaishnavas consider spiritually auspicious to offer ghee lamps, which we do every day in our temple, which we call Deepadana, to Lord Damodar daily in the morning and evening while reciting Damodar Ashtakam. It is the most pious month in the year, having lots of festivals, including major Deepavali for 5 days, the Damodar Lila on Deepavali day, and next day is Golden Lila on a New Year's day, and so on. So Kartika means Radha. Kartika is very happy, enthusiastic, and full of loving relationship with everybody. Krishna is very happy. So one day Yashoda Maya, she's getting the child Krishna on her lap, and she's breastfeeding. And Lava is very happy. He loves to be in the arms of Mother Yasoda and to drink her milk. All of a sudden, the Mother Yasoda, she thinks, oh, I have put the milk on the stove in the kitchen and it's boiling over. So she quickly takes Krishna and put him there and run away to take care of that boiling milk. And Krishna is very upset. He says, I was drinking happily and the mother just put me away like I'm nothing. Oh no, I'm going to get something and just gonna eat yogurt. He goes out to the yogurt pot, a big pot, and he takes a stone and breaks the yogurt pot. It's a big yogurt pot. And he goes and starts eating, and some of the butter also. And he calls the monkeys to eat so much butter and yogurt. I'm shortening some of the phrases because they're known stories. But when Lord Shri Krishna saw his mother with a stick in his hand, he very quickly got down from the top of the mortar and began to flee as if he was much afraid. So Mother Yasoda began to follow him. And because of following Krishna very swiftly, her hair became loose. The flowers in her hair were falling after her. Yet she did not fail to capture her son. After going some distance, Mother Yasoda was able to catch Krishna, who, because of his offense, was crying. Mother Yasoda, of course, threatened to punish Krishna if he acted that way again. And she decided to bind him with a rope. Unfortunately, when the time came to knot the rope with which she wanted to bind him was short by a distance equal to width of 2 fingers. When she made the rope longer by adding another rope, she again saw that it was short by 2 fingers. Again and again she tried, again and again she found that the rope was short by 2 fingers. Even she asked gopis nearby to bring it, and they were all having fun because they found that it's hard to tie up. The Mother Yasoda was always overwhelmed by the intense love of Krishna, not knowing who Krishna was or how powerful he was. Because of the maternal affection for Krishna, She never even cared to know who he was. And therefore, when she saw that her son had become excessively afraid, she threw the stick away and desired to bind him so that he would not commit any further naughty activities. Krishna sees the mom is tired, sweating, turning red, her hairs are renting loose, flowers from her head are falling. Finally, he decides to be bound by her love and affection. Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is bound. Prabhupada says, one finger sought to indicate ecstasy of love to serve Krishna. The second finger presents the Kripa, Krishna's kindness, Krishna's mercy. Because no matter how enthusiastic we are, how we persevere, it is not enough unless Krishna reveals himself to us by his own sweet will. It is descending process. We could never know him. Ye yatha mama prapadyante tama tathaiva bhajamiyaham. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, as one surrenders to me, I reciprocate accordingly. After Yashoda left him by dragging behind him with a great force the wooden motor tied to his belly, the boy Krishna uprooted the two trees by the great strength of Supreme Person. The two trees with their trunks, leaves and branches trembled severely and fell to the ground with a great crash. It's called Yamla Arjuna trees. These Yamla Arjuna trees basically are short personification. They were two demigods in heavenly planets called And these two demigods were called Nalkuber and Manigeva, son of Kubera. They were son of Kubera, who were bathing naked in the Mandakini river, the sacred river, in open public place. And did not respect Narad Muni when he was passing through. A respected sage of Devas when he arrived at that place. These Kumaras had a false pride, being son of the richest Kubera. So he cursed them to become the trees for millions of years until Lord Krishna would personally come and release them from their tree bodies. Prabhupada says that the way we have Sangha, the association or a desire, we end up with that type of body in the next life. Kitiraj Prabhu was also giving the Damodar Lila last night, where he also mentioned that people exposed like this for the long time, they ended as trees and suffer. The people who expose themselves like this, they ended up like trees and suffer for all kinds of weather, storm, and for a long, long period. So similarly, if we decide to eat meat and flesh and whatnot, we end up with animal body. So ultimately, we decide to serve and praise the Lord as Krishna devotee. We will be elevated to spiritual abode, Gokulananda. But Supreme Lord of the world was caught by mere love of mother. Her Vatsalya Bhava, love and hard work to catch the Lord was enough to justify her devotion. Pure loving devotion for Krishna. Acharya teaches us that if we want to bind the Lord, that is, have his darshan or mercy or krupa, devotees have to link with him in relationship. A pure loving devotion and a hard work. Hard work means devotional hard work. Nimai or Satyadevi and Gopal and Yashoda, these are all similar Vatsalya Leela. That is the light in which Krishna reveals himself. All the yogis try to capture him as a Paramatma by meditation, desiring to enter the presence of the Lord with great austerities and penances. They failed to reach him. But Mother Yashoda, thinking that the same personality of Godhead to be her son, began following Krishna to catch him. Drashtva Parishrama Krishna, Lord gets tied up by devotion, devotional services. God was bound by the transcendental love. Prem ke bandhan mein mohan bandh hai. God was tied up just because of mere devotional love. This month devotees make extra effort to vow. They perform the special spiritual activities and worship the Damodar as explained earlier. The Chaitanya Charitamrita, it explains in Adi Lila 4:22-24. Mora putra, mora sakha, mora pranapati, Mata more putra bhave kare na bandhan bhakti na jane kare lalan palan. If one cherishes pure loving devotion to me, thinking of me as his son, his friend, or his beloved, regarding himself as a great and considering me his equal, even his inferior, I become subordinate to him. Mother sometimes binds me as her son. She nourishes me and protects me, thinking utterly helpless. Rupa Goswami says the Sudha Bhakti, in matter of devotion, Sudha Bhakti. So, Lord Chaitanya, that is most important to connect and relate with Krishna, with a Sudha Bhakti, pure devotional love. You know, there's nothing like Sudha Bhakti. I mean, Bhakti is a Bhakti, but then there is a mixed Bhakti, there is a Bhakti. We all kind of Bhakti. It's like a ghee, you know. 100 years ago, I mean, ghee was called ghee, not a pure ghee. But in today's mixed age, it is called pure ghee, Suddha ghee. Similarly, Sudha Bhakti is like, it's a Niskam Bhava, it's a Niskam, there's no fruitive actions involved. The transcendental love and knowledge keeps us in Krishna consciousness at all times and attain the devotional service to Lord Krishna. Adult devotional service does not directly aim for love of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's called fear bhakti. You know, Saka sansara kare moye bhaya bhakti. I think Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Saka sansara kare mori bhaya bhakti. If bhakti is for fruitive results out of fear, it's not a Suddha bhakti. Like if I think, you know, I'm driving a car and I'm praying to God because I won't have accident, that is not a pure bhakti. I mean, it's a purity, it's out of fear. Or I want promotion. I mean, I'm not getting promotion. I'm just trying to pray, God, I will make sure, you know, I go through my promotional thing. That's a fear bhakti. It's not a bhakti that you would call a niskam bhakti. Saka sansara kare mori bhaya bhakti. So bhaya bhakti does not attain God. What we're trying to say is connect to the Lord with vatsalya bhav, as a father, as a friend, as a sankhya bhav, as a pati, madhurya bhav, or even dasya bhav, like a servant and a boss. But connect and relate yourself. That's what he's teaching, the Chaitanya Charima. Connect and relate yourself to the Lord with any vow to establish pure bhakti by strong relationship. And this is how sadhana and prem bhakti links up with the Lord to attain his darshan and closeness. The devotees can then bind Krishna like Yasoda Maya. Like Satyavat Muni says, we say every day in Damodara Ashtakam, Varam Deva Moksham na Moksha Vadimba. Oh Lord, I don't want the liberation. I don't want eternal life in Vaikuntha. I want Bal Gopal forever manifest in my heart to relish and cherish your pastimes forever. Narsimha Mehta, this is one of the great devotees in Gujarat. He used to even say, Bhutar Bhakti Padarath Motum Brahma Lokama Nahi Re Bhutar Bhakti Padarath Motum. Then I always say, Mamu Janama Janama Avtarade. Even great devotees like this, they always say, hey God, I don't want this moksha, I don't want this liberation. I want to cherish and relish your pastimes on the earth and to serve great elements of my life. So this is the wonderful Damodar Leela that is taught to us by Srila Prabhupada. It's a whole month, the Damodar month, we are celebrating in ISKCON as a devotional year, at the end of the year, and it falls between October and November. Now the last but not least is this New Year's Day, what we call festivals, the next day after, where we have Govardhan Puja and this. And I'm just going to quickly touch base on this, assuming we have some time. So, if the remark, the coronation of the King Vikramaditya, as I said, is a Vikram Samvat 2075 this year, ago was started on this day. The day is to forgive everyone for any offenses of the past year and start the new year with the loving feelings. Forgiving is one of the main quality of Brahmana. Exchange and display the sweets in every home and temples. Govardhan Puja is time to celebrate those special pastimes of Lord Krishna. When he had held the Govardhan hill on his finger for 7 days to protect the local citizens from torrents of rain from Indra, the rain god, who was angered because Lord Krishna was showing the Brijavasis, the residents of Vrindavan, that he is the supreme Lord and they should make all offerings to him and stop the offering to Indra. Thus the Indra poured rain for 7 days and nights. And after seeing Lord Krishna's power, Indra was humbled and accepted Lord Krishna as the Lord. This is all ornamentally decorated. Cows were worshipped on that day. Charities to Brahmanas were given, whoever can afford them. The cows are also fed and worshipped because Lord Krishna personally did that and asked the residents to do that because their milk nourishes the human being. It is said in the Vedas that there are 33 million devatas residing in the body of a cow. And since everyone brings some food, there are lots of offerings, and thus it is called Annakuta. We have Annakuta on the same day. Lord Krishna had turned himself into Govardhan hill and accepted all offerings. Presently, devotees from all over the world, they do parikrama of Govardhan hill. It's about 20 to 24 kilometers. And it's a very, very auspicious thing. And offer some milk at the tongue of the hill. So Krishna says, Mato Satam Manavanga Prasam Yo Upakalpate. When I break the false prestige of those bereft of goodness, my purpose is to bring them the relief. Prabhupada explains the mana or a false prestige is certainly an anxiety-ridden burden for the conditioned soul. A falsely proud person is not truly peaceful or satisfied because his understanding of himself is false and inflated. When a servant of the Lord becomes irreligious, the Lord saves him from impurity by breaking the false prestige and that has led him to be offensive or sinful. So as stated by the Lord himself, Ashiyam Anugrahami Harishye Tada Dhanam Sanaya. I give my blessing to a person by taking away so-called opulence. That's what he did with Indra. He took away his opulence in a way. So Govardhan Puja, the Ankut is celebrated by Vaishnavas. I'm not going through more details as we're running out of time. But this is the day when the cows are also fed, they are worshipped. The Ankut Prasad is distributed profusely to everybody. Krishna personally did that and requested everyone to honor and worship the cows and Brahmanas. And as we know, that Prabhupada, His Holiness Prabhupada, established numerous centers all around the world. Method is made easy through the process of bhakti, which means to worship the Supreme Lord Krishna by the process of Navada Bhakti. Bhattam, Kirtanam, Swaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Padasevyam, Satyam, Atmanivedanam. Any of these process of bhakti can grant a person liberation, but hearing and chanting and remembering Lord Krishna's name, His form, His pastimes and activities are specially recommended in this age of Kali by Prabhupada. And because it is the most simplest method and most powerful, His Grace Divine Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada made the method for easily available throughout the world for chanting the glories of Supreme Lord Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Again, a happy Diwali and a happy New Year. And thank you all the devotees for bearing with me and forgive me for any faults or mishaps. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.